Jungkook stunned, Jimin and Taeyong bathe in the sea. 7-minute BTS live moment on Weverse moves ARMY. Is it possible that a short live broadcast lasting only 7 minutes could shake the emotions of millions of people? That question suddenly arose when an unexpected moment occurred in BTS's live broadcast on Weverse, as Jungkook witnessed Jimin and Taeyong bathing together in the sea. That simple scene instead left a deep impression, not only for Jungkook, who appeared so emotional, but also for the fans who watched it. This incident happened without plan, without announcement, and without staging. In the middle of a casual interaction taking place by the beach, Jimin and Taeyong decided to enter the sea with full cheerfulness, as if forgetting all the burdens attached to the great name of BTS. The camera that remained on captured those intimate and sincere seconds, while Jungkook, who stood near them, seemed transfixed, looking at his two friends with an expression mixed with emotion, nostalgia, and pride. It was Jungkook's reaction that then became the center of attention. Instead of joining into the spontaneous joy, he chose to observe in silence, as if wanting to record the moment into his memory. Fans quickly highlighted the depth in his eyes, as though storing many stories about the long journey with Jimin and Taeyong since trainee days until the point of global success today. The question then arose: what was Jungkook truly feeling when seeing his two companions so free, so pure, before the ocean? For ARMY, this moment was not merely a scene of entertainment. It was read as a symbol of timeless friendship. The seawater surrounding Jimin and Taeyong seemed to become a metaphor for all the dynamics they had gone through together. Bitter, sweet, falling, rising, until remaining together even as the world changed. When Jungkook stood as a witness, his emotional gaze evoked the impression that their bond was not merely a work relationship, but a family built with sweat and tears. The broadcast that lasted only 7 minutes then went viral, sparking waves of discussion across various social media platforms. Many fans admitted to being touched to the point of tears, because they felt what was shown was not merely content, but fragments of real life rarely revealed before the public. Authenticity rarely seen amid an entertainment industry often full of scenarios, precisely made this moment so valuable. Analyses from fans also emerged. Some judged that Jungkook's expression reflected longing for the early days, when their togetherness was simpler and far from the world's spotlight. Others saw it as a form of gratitude, because even though career pressure grows greater, their personal relationships remain warm and honest. This interpretation affirms that the relationships among BTS members remain one of the strongest pillars keeping the group relevant and enduring until today. Undeniably, this short broadcast reminded the public that BTS is not merely a collection of global icons at the top of the music industry. They remain human beings who need each other, strengthen each other, and celebrate togetherness in simple ways. When Jimin and Taeyong laughed freely in the sea, and Jungkook gazed at them in meaningful silence, what appeared was the image of an authentic friendship irreplaceable by any glamorous stage. This phenomenon also showed how strong the emotional connection between BTS and ARMY truly is. Fans are not only captivated by their music, performances, or achievements, but also by the human side they display. This simple scene at the beach proved that BTS can deliver deep emotional experiences, even in moments that seem ordinary. Precisely in that simplicity lies its uniqueness. Now the 7-minute recording continues to be replayed, shared, and analyzed by millions of people worldwide. Jungkook, with eyes full of meaning, had indirectly delivered a deep reflection on the meaning of togetherness. Jimin and Taeyong, with sincere cheerfulness, reminded everyone that true happiness often comes in the simplest forms. And ARMY, with all their emotions, were reminded again that they are not merely spectators, but part of an ongoing emotional journey. In the end, one thing is indisputable: a short broadcast can touch more deeply than a grand concert. That unplanned moment left an emotional trace difficult to erase, for Jungkook, for Jimin and Taeyong, and for all ARMY around the world. The question now is, how many more emotional surprises will BTS present in the future? And to what extent will such simple moments continue reminding us that behind global triumph, there exists a human bond irreplaceable? Are we witnessing touching authenticity, or merely clever dramaturgy, carefully crafted to steal public attention? This question cannot be avoided when the short broadcast, said to have lasted 7 minutes, showed Jungkook seemingly transfixed watching Jimin and Taeyong bathe in the sea. Because each second in such a broadcast can be read as proof of sincere closeness, or as a symbol built for the needs of commercial narrative. Do you as viewers truly believe that spontaneity is the only factor behind that moment? Or do you suspect the existence of structure, direction, even an unseen script? A critical attitude is necessary because strong emotional experience must not replace factual verification. However sharp the vibrations of emotion we feel, let us begin from the basics. The sources of information, clips, re-uploads, and narratives circulating so far, according to uploaders, come from platforms such as TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and several other media replicating without clear primary reference, so it is natural if their reliability level is still fluctuating and must be tested further. Have you traced the earliest recording uploaded, examined metadata, and compared it with parallel uploads that might show different perspectives? Have you ever questioned whether its audio and visual are still original, or have already gone through processes of cutting, merging, and text additions that could shift the meaning? Should not these questions precede any emotional decision? We must also test the context, because visuals without context are like data without field notes. Tempting, but potentially misleading. Are the location, time, and weather conditions in the recording consistent with other credible reports, so that we do not fall into the illusion of coherence? Is there an official statement or further explanation that can strengthen the claim that the moment occurred exactly as described, so that narrative integrity can be maintained? If none exist, should we not classify the material as unverified, rather than treating it as final truth? Next, let us evaluate motives and incentives, elements often forgotten when emotions surge. Who benefits most if this moment is widely accepted as spontaneous and touching? And who is harmed if later proven staged, so that we can map the flows of interest? Do distribution platforms gain profit from surges in views, comments, and watch time, all contributing to cycles of digital sensationalism? If so, should we not be extra skeptical before attaching the label authentic to circulating content? Public discourse analysis is also relevant, because the meaning of a moment is shaped by the conversations surrounding it, not merely by the images themselves. Are the comments you read mostly reinforcement of emotions among fans? Or are there serious attempts to provide evidence, link primary sources, and present rebuttals, so that discussion moves from feelings to data? Do the accounts that viralize the clip have accurate track records or often spread claims later withdrawn? If the dominance is emotional amplification without correction, should you not withhold judgment until adequate verification is available? We also need to weigh cognitive biases working quietly, especially confirmation bias and effect heuristic. Do you tend to believe this moment because it aligns with hopes about warmth of friendship among members, so that doubtful evidence you automatically dismiss? Does the intensity of emotion make you judge the short broadcast as more real than official releases that are longer and less emotional? If yes, is that not a signal to pause, review, and demand stronger data? From the standpoint of media consumption ethics, there is an obligation not to become part of the chain spreading unverified information. Are you willing to delay pressing share until clarification is obtained, even though waiting feels unpopular amid a culture of speed? Are you ready to revise opinions publicly if new evidence shows a different interpretation, even if that means admitting an initial mistake? If caution is considered slow, is not haste more costly when hoax is already spread? Now let us pose the sharpest question. Do you believe this event is fact, or most likely a reconstruction packaged as spontaneity to invite sympathy and attention? If you answer, yes, this is real, what specific evidence do you hold besides emotional resonance, so that your claim can be retested? If you lean toward this is staged, what data indicators point there besides narrative suspicion, so that your objection goes beyond speculation? Without explicit standards of evidence, will our discussion not only circle within perceptions? A simple evaluation framework can help clarify positions. Stop for a moment, investigate the source, find better coverage, and trace to the original. Have you practiced these 4 steps, so that conclusions are not born from a single clip alone? Have you assessed the quality of the audio cuts, the camera angles, and the possibility of jump cuts distorting the sequence, so that the story is not created by editing alone? If not, is not the label needs verification the most responsible stance? It must